Welcome to BP Leadership Podcast, where real leaders are made. I'm your host, Bill Purvis. Today's episode, by the way, is a continuation of our series on Back the Blue with my special guest today, Officer David Josey. Now, we talked about some of the things on the first episode that were fantastic. We're going to go more in depth today on his undercover days, how long he's away from his family when he goes undercover, while undercover, who he's met. He's met some pretty hardcore guys with, with the type work he's done. And so we're looking forward to being able to talk about some of those things today. I believe you're going to enjoy this broadcast. So let's get started. All right, so now let me ask you this. When you're doing the undercover stuff like that, you learn how to cook it and things like that, how long away do you have to be away from your family when you're doing that? You don't go home at night, so you stay there or something, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It just depends. All that has varied with case by case.
Right. All right, with some of the people that you have to meet, that they've been in that lifestyle, most of them probably all their life.
Yes.
You can probably tell the difference between the people that are just new in it or just experiencing it and the real hardcore ones that's just their world and their life and you don't cross them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just, there's just different ways to get in, which, we can't.
Yeah, you can't reveal
I can't
that.
talk.
Yeah, but at least the thing is, when it's kind of, I guess out there in that world, it really is. It's an everyday deal of having to deal with it. So is it similar to like television when you see the undercover guys like that?
Yeah, close. Yeah, it is. It is.
All right. How about when they cross over? You hear about some crossover. Is there the temptation?
I've been involved in
cases
cases putting some in jail that have crossed over.
Yeah,
and it just blows your mind.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I think that somehow I'd read before where there were like 10 or 12 famous ones that they had been deep undercover for a long time, and everything had been kosher for a while, but then somehow they just slowly drifted and crossed over.
Yeah,
and guess they couldn't get back.
Yeah,
and so. And
that's the greed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So is it the money? Is that what it is? So they just greed. Yeah, they just make so much money at it. They think this is a better living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the money and I guess greed and the thrill of the game. Just the excitement of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think I'd read a statement one time years ago about somebody that had crossed over, and they were about to cross over, and they got out just in time. And the statement they had made was like, I was glad I had got out just when I did because I had gotten where I was totally numb to everything. And they said I was just so numb to everything, didn't care, that if I had not gotten out when I did, I probably would have stayed on the other side.
Yes.
And, they said they just no longer cared. And so, gosh, that's the crazy. And you don't think I guess you don't think when you first go on the police force, okay, I'm going to get into that road. But when you get into it, I guess there's a part of an adrenaline rush. It's the cool part of, if you want to really get in and make a difference, that's the place to do it,
Yeah, true.
And so.
True.
But there's a ton of money and all that, there's so much that involved. Now, do y'all ever get just tips, people that call in and say, my neighbor over here is doing this, or
babies' mamas are the best ones.
Are they?
Yeah,
they tell on it. They rat it out
because they get mad because baby's daddies, with the other kids are doing something, and we'd get phone calls, and tell on them.
So they rat out. So it was their own wife or girlfriend or husband.
Generally girlfriends. Yeah. They've got a child by.
Gosh.
And it's just, and some of them you just die laughing. So, what now?
Yeah.
Yep. He's sitting out there in the cul-de-sac right now washing his car. He got 16 pounds in his trunk because I just left him there because he wouldn't give me no diaper money.
She's giving him up over diapers.
Yeah.
Golly. Now, how about, do you ever have any of those accidental busts where you see the money and all that stuff? You just pull a car over and they've got everything.
Yeah. And I'll tell you a good accidental bust was, this was a wrong phone number. This guy, my partner and I, we worked as undercover teams, and we're riding up the road, actually Veterans of Manchester, and my cell phone, my work cell phone goes off.
Right.
So I answer it, hey man, I got the stuff. And I thought it was one of my guys playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother man, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, I got it. I said, you got the whole?
Yeah.
He said, no, you want a half. So then I realized, hey, this is wrong. Yeah. Because I knew he was talking about weed. And,
right.
A whole is a pound and a half is a half pound.
Okay.
I said, no, bro. I said, I want the whole. Man, you got that money? I said, yeah, I got that money.
Yeah.
He said, all right. You gotta give me 30 minutes. I gotta go get it. I said, okay. All right. I said, where we gonna meet? He said, let's meet the usual spot. So I said, nah, it makes me a little nervous. Let's go someplace different. He said, what you call it? And I said, all right. I said, at convenience store, parking lot. We'll meet you there. Manchester Veterans.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So just throwing it out of my mouth. I said, you still gonna be in that truck? He said, no, man, I got rid of that truck. I got that white Trans Am now. I said, all right.
No.
So we went back to the convenience store parking lot and waited for a white Trans Am to show up. Yeah, we got him with a pound of weed, and he had a couple $1,000 on him.
It was all an accidental phone. He called himself in.
Yeah. He said, man, who set me up? I said, you just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went to court next day. He said, Judge, I want to know who the informant is. Who set me up? And I started laughing, and the judge started laughing and said, you need to be careful who you call next time.
He called him, tell him he got it ready. That's God, that's now, have you ever been in anything that turned out to be real violent, that shootouts or whatever like that in the middle of a bust? Or
yeah, we have. We have. And it generally gets under control quick.
Yeah. Well, you got to know where the good guys are and where the bad guys are before you start shooting up.
Yeah, and that group operates as a team, a real close team,
right?
And it's like a family.
Yeah,
and because you're spending so much time together, you work together, and and as with a family, they watch out for each other.
Yeah.
So it's just it. Yeah, it happens, but it gets taken care of quick.
Now, do you get a lot of people that have been already served time before, they got back out on the street?
Oh yeah, repeat offenders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot. Wow. Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah,
quite a bit. And then it's just the same as we were talking earlier, the greed of the money.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
They look at it as easy money.
Yeah, you would think if they'd spent their life over there in prison already, so many years there, that they'd come out with a different plan.
You would think.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you can go in prison and, come out with a college degree.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then you also find, I know when I would do prison ministries at the time, there'd be people that would tell me, they'd say, if they would spend half the time planning how to live after they got out instead of having to plan a new crime. and some people literally would think about, next time I'm not going to get caught. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about, what went wrong last time, so this time I'm going to change my strategy. And I'm thinking they didn't want to change the end game; they just want to change the strategy.
Yeah. And some of them, it's like getting a promotion, because we had one that he went to prison for burglary, and young guy went to prison for burglary.
Right.
And while he was in prison, he had this guy that older man, and from what I understand, I think he was doing life.
Yeah.
That pulled him in under his wing, and it got him hooked in with the cartel. And so he was in control of most of the cocaine that came through this area all the way up to New York.
Wow. Until
he got caught.
Yeah. And that's now. All right. Now let me ask you this: is the buy one of the most dangerous times? When you're having to make a buy or something like that.
To me, the search warrant, when you go back and hit the house, because you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
Okay.
And there's multiple times when you go through that door, and you'll hear a thud, and as you're running to clear the house and make sure, see who's there and get everybody, and a lot of times you're stepping over guns because they know what's happening, and if they got a gun in their hand, then that's extra time.
Right. So. Yeah, I know. I think one time you had to jump out of a window somewhere to arrest some guy.
Yeah. Well, actually, he rode his back out the window. He dove, and big old guy. And I grabbed hold of him. We went out the window, and I was like, Bubba, this is going to hurt. And we landed. I was glad he was a big guy.
Yeah.
He softened the blow.
No, and it wasn't like 2 feet either, was it?
Oh, no. This was a second story window.
yeah. That would put the. But now the taser gun works pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Taser, yeah. And a lot of people, well, a lot of guys, a lot of criminals or people in general nowadays, if you pull a gun on them, they know you're pretty much, you're not going to shoot them.
Right.
But if you pull that taser out, then they know they're going to feel some electricity.
Yeah. Wow.
And because that was funny, because one of the neighborhoods here, we pulled in one day, my partner and I, and little young boy up on the corner started hollering, Georgia Power, Georgia Power.
Light up.
I was like, no, come here. I said, man, what are you doing? He said, no, you light a brother up.
That's crazy. Yeah. And how many volts are in them things?
I believe 10,000, I think.
Good night.
And it works good. And in order to carry one, use one, you have to get tased by one.
Yeah, you got to be tested by one, right?
You got to feel it. So that way you can testify in court,
Right.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
But once that 5-second ride's over with, then you're fine.
Well, now if you're holding somebody, and they get tased by another officer, you feel it too, right?
Oh no, I had one that he was on a porch and we had gotten a complaint selling dope off the porch, so we go up there and I grab hold of him. Well, he goes I put him up against the wall. I see, a sack of cocaine and a pound of weed at the side of the porch.
Yeah.
And so he pushes off the porch, to push away from me to run, but I had hold of him. So we went there and went down, and I'm on his back, hanging on to him. Right. And so I got I pulled my taser out, and I said, look, taser.
Yeah. I
said, you don't want it. And then somebody hollers, gun. He's got a gun in his waistband. And he's trying to get to his waistband. So I'm on top of him, and I tase him in the side. And I felt it just as much as he did.
You both get it.
Yeah. I was like, woo. He was hollering, I was hollering.
I bet. God, those situations would be the crazy thing about all of it's just, like I say, you never know where it's going or what's going on. Did you ever feel like when you were like even undercover that somehow you were getting close to being found out, or did you ever have to say, I got to watch what I say or watch what or they ever looked at you like with suspect or
and I had one that one time that, and this was pretty much at a party we just walked into. Yeah. And had a guy that had talked to me about selling some ecstasy. So we grouped up, and the thing about, everybody knows outside what I'm saying. They can hear me. Right. What I'm saying. So, if something ever went bad, then they're coming in. Yeah. And, I had a guy once, and he was like, man, I know you. And I had the full beard, the earrings. Right. And that biker look. Right. And he said, man, I know you. I know you. I said, brother, you don't know me. I said, I ain't from here. I was like, no, I know you. You didn't used to ride a motorcycle with the police department, did you? I said, man, I look like I ride motorcycles with the police department. And then everybody started laughing in the room because there was a bunch of people in there. Yeah. And it calmed down after that. Yeah. But and it is, like you said earlier, it's like acting, but you play the role and you get into the conversation with them to where they get comfortable with you. Right.
Now, let me ask you, were some of those guys, did they, because sometimes, if you just watch by the movies, you get these hardcore guys who don't ever think of anything else. Some of the people I've met in life that were just really hardcore also had a side to them where they may have loved their kids, or they loved their mama, or, there was a human side to them as well. Yeah. Did you find that sometime?
Yeah. I've only met one person that really didn't love his mama. Yeah. And I bought some meth off of him. And I'm like, all right, what you going to do to help yourself out? Yeah. He said, well, I know where 7 ounces of meth is right now. And I said, all right, where? He said, at my mama's. I said, your mama's?
He gave his mama up.
I said, you go to the devil when you do your mama.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
But she did. We went and she had 7 ounces of meth.
Wow.
Hanging on a chair in front of her bed. And I'm like, good Lord.
And so he gave his own mama, because that's the way it works, too, is generally if they get caught, if they've got a good enough, if you catch a good enough or whatever, they can negotiate for time or whatever by turning in somebody. Yeah, so he gonna turn his mama.
You know you going to the.
I know. But yeah, there's some of them that you really would think, because I know even now, I know people that I say, before I became a Christian, I probably could have hung out with them, not think much of it, And so I see them and I say, I know they do bad stuff, but truth is, I probably could have hung out with them. I didn't, And so I guess there's some you probably think, we could have been friends if they wasn't pushing that, They're not as bad of people as you think,
And I have met some people that, same thing. That nice as can be.
Yeah, and some of them could have run a business. Some of the ones I've met before, they could have actually run a company or run a business, and maybe that was their business. They just, but it was just what they were doing that was saying, "Good night, you crazy."
All right, well, I'm so glad you guys stuck around for part 2 of this conversation in our Back the Blue series with David Josey. And part 3 is incredible. Each part of this conversation gets better and better. We got 4 parts in total. And in part 3, the next one that you'll get to hear David talk a little bit about his time after being undercover and while he was on patrol and all that kind of stuff. Some good stuff, some people that he's met in restaurants that recognized him from his undercover days or when he was on patrol, and the thanks that they actually gave him for putting them in jail and the things that they've been able to do afterwards and turning their life around. Really cool stuff, great stories. So make sure that you stay tuned for that and hit the subscribe button if you're listening on a podcast app, whichever one you're on. We're on all of them. We're all over. Or if you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell so that you can stay notified when part 3 of this conversation with Bill and David comes out. And I'm just going to take a moment. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you're not familiar with Bill Purvis, or maybe you are and you just don't know a lot about him, he has an incredible story of how he got started on the journey he's been on and what he's done for the last 30, 40 years. And he's got it all documented in his book. He just came out with it a few years ago. It's called Make a Break For It. Make sure you check this out. You can go to makeabreakforit.com. It's in all major bookstores. It's online. This story right here talks about how when he was 17 years old, he was stabbed 3 times, bleeding out, was left for dead, and how God used his life, saved him, and how he was able to go on and do the things that he's done in his life afterwards. Incredible book, by far one of the best books I've ever read, best leadership books I've ever read as well. Got a lot of really cool life lessons, leadership lessons, and some really, really neat stories in here. So make sure you check it out. You can read the first chapter for free on makeabreakforit.com as well. And I'm telling you, if you read the first chapter, you're going to be hooked. You will end up buying the book. There's no way around it. It is just that good. So make sure you check it out, makeabreakforit.com. And as always, I'm so glad you guys are tuning in. Thank you all for being a part of this family, this team. Our BP Leadership Podcast is growing like crazy, and it's because of you guys. So make sure that you continue to listen to it, share it with your friends, tell your coworkers, your family members about it, and maybe they can hear some cool things in these podcast episodes and in these stories that will help them grow in their life as well. So thank you again. We're glad you're here. We'll see you next time. And as always, remember that this is where real leaders are made.